We are not given control of God's reign. Our having control invalidates the whole concept of God reigning, doesn't it? If God reigns, isn't God the one in control? There may be ways for us to facilitate the process, but its development is not really in our hands. First century Judaism focused on rushing the conditions for Messiah to come. You see, if only all the people would strictly follow the traditional interpretations of the commandments, then Messiah had no choice but to come. Everyone needed to get on board and force the messianic reign into existence. Many Jewish traditions today still hold to the same notions. It's similar to those who want to force Armageddon in the Middle East in order to bring about the return of Christ, because they have made all the prophecies come to pass. They're intent on fulfilling prophecies as they have interpreted them to force God's hand. Jesus brushes such notions aside as irrelevant. We don't control God's reign. We don't control God. Servanthood is not flashy. It doesn't call attention to itself. Those who perform service are the same ones we tend to consider as unimportant, irrelevant, powerless, of little value. It's the single, tiny individual seed so easily overlooked. However, God's reign transforms that seed into something completely new, something vital, something of inestimable worth and value. Like the sower, we are but servants of God's reign. We scatter. We wait for the day of harvest. We are not given control. It's not power that extends God's reign. It is humble service that simply makes room for God to operate around us and within us. Power, authority, force, and intimidation do not produce life or God's reign. The values of God's reign often seem inverted to us. What we deem unimportant is, while what we value is not. Can we accept the seemingly unimportant for its true worth? It requires that we shift our way of thinking and reflecting. It requires our own transformation, rather like the seed, becoming a seed-bearing plant, offering space for birds to build their nests.